5 o'clock, call meeting to order. Say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cindy, do you have an extra pen there? I did not bring one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I picked it up when I was talking to John.
Oh, you had plenty. Okay. Any comments from the public? Cindy, we're ready to begin routine business.
Okay.
Exoneration consolidations.
I move to approve the exonerations and consolidations.
Sorry, thank you.
Any discussion?
No, I can't.
All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes. State qualifications.
I move we approve the state qualifications, state settlements as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion passes. Board appointments.
I move we appoint Sue Edwards to the Unsafe Building and Land Enforcement Agency for a 2-year term.
Second.
Any discussion?
All in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes. We pretty much have our boards full now, with the exception of that unsafe building and lands enforcement agency, so that's good. Okay, well, we could just continue in order. Budget, do we have any budget revisions?
No,
Okay.
no, she didn't.
There's one revision under the commission budget I wanted to ask you about, and we'll have to finalize it after you make a decision, and get you to sign it later. Get the information. It's not like a big deal or anything, because of where we would have to take the money, I just wanted to ask your thoughts on it. We need to pay another $1,000 into contractual services. And about the only two places that I can see that we could potentially take it from would be out of audits or legal advertisements. I think there's more money in both of those than you're gonna need for the rest of the year. But there may be things that I don't recall or remember or know about that we need to do. Yeah, you might be able to, you might have something to say. I was just talking to them about the $1,000 that I wanted to take out, put into contractual services. And the two places I wanted to propose that they consider taking it from will be out audit costs, which we have a little over $33,000 in audits. I know we have our audit that's getting ready to happen. I think that's $24,000. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we already paid those.
I don't think so. So I think, I just wanted to see.
Why is there a need for that? Sandy, why did we go?
The biggest reason is a lot of copier repair in the county clerk's office that came out of that budget. They've had several issues with some machines. And so that is why, why it's in a deficit.
And more new copiers still.
Well, we still have to have them to come and look at it every so often, but not anything major so far. Nothing.
Well, either one, whatever you think of audits.
Well, I just thought maybe you guys would have something that you would know of that would be a reason why we shouldn't take 1,000 out of that. The other advertisement, legal publications, we have 23.5 left in that. And are there any other large publications that will have to take place?
Financial statement, and it's in there, we should probably issue,
Oh, yeah.
which is 5,000, so the other than that, we should have, well, the sheriff's, man count, which I haven't seen a bill on it yet, so I don't think it's probably.
So 5, that takes it down to 18, with the land sale be more than 18.
No.
So audits, are you aware of any other audit needs besides the one that we're gonna be paying here today? Or soon?
For the rec center today. Did they go there soon?
I think
There was
so.
February or something, the last meeting, that they were gonna start the audit again, and I think he said
I thought they were
February.
gonna do that as part of the county audit, is that what you said?
Yeah, because it's gonna go with ours, but I mean, they'll have their own person out there, but I'm thinking he said they were gonna start, so I mean, that'll be a different bill from what ours is on the floor.
I will probably take out legal advertisements along with audit and materials and stuff. That's good question.
Is that okay? Then she's got a budget revision started for this one, so she'll just have to put in which account we're taking it from.
If you guys are doing that, I'll be back. You want the 1,000 taken out of the house?
Yeah.
You want contract, you want to have it then I should pull it out.
Well, we can deal with this one next month. It's not critical.
Okay, so
It's not the whole, so we'll be okay. 1,000 out of 220, okay. And that's, by the way, it's not in the hole $1,000. It's only in the hole, I think it was less than $200. But there are some other things that were budgeted to come out of that for the rest of the year, so we try to cover what we need for the things that we're aware of for the rest of this year. You're ready for the revisions? What about you?
Okay, the first one I have $500 to the departmental supply for shopping in the OEM budget. And then, $108 from contractor services to advertising for legal in the PDD grant. And then on Parks and Recreation, there was a $5,000 for salary and a $1350 for capital outlay to utilities. And then $1,000 from advertisement, legal publication to contract services in the
Just this one or all? No. December 19th. Today is Dad's birthday. He is 84 today.
Is that right?
Yep.
Motion to approve the budget revisions.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion passes. That one also. Okay. Thank you, Angel. Let's pay some bills.
Bills that have already been paid.
I'm liking this.
Unpaid.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
this say to help offset the
Well,
county's
I
jail
don't know
bill?
what that one, do you know what this kickback is for?
That was to go towards the purchase of the car. I can't imagine why it would go to offset the county's jail bill. Could you verify that, please?
I don't know, get Amy to go back in that, yeah.
I don't
He just
think
told
that's
me that
right.
it looks like there was 3,000 something.
What's up, Buck?
Whole lot.
You didn't get a hold of me.
Yeah, I called you 2 days in advance. What you said?
When?
First special meeting.
Called my cell phone?
I talked to you. I said, you said 2 days in advance. I said, I called on Monday, that was on Wednesday. I said, 2 days.
When you and I talked, you said you'd get a hold of me, you need to have a meeting this week.
Now, listen,
You said, let me do 2 days in
I
advance.
don't want this check.
Okay.
And I called you 2 days.
Because I need to do
3
an
days.
inspection.
I called on Monday.
You must have called
So when that
Pat.
check is written,
No.
I should receive the check and upon inspection, I just think we need to do practice. Do an inspection.
Okay. Call you with this and,
I'll come get that.
okay.
That's for that insurance.
Oh, okay.
That
We
probably
took care of it.
Yes, it did.
should.
Man, I never got any message, I swear to you. I kept waiting on you to call. I told Rick and everything, I said, I'm not gonna go home.
Everybody was there. They all voted on it, they just screwed that. Hey,
That's a special prosecuting attorney that came in, so we have to pay whatever they charge.
who Daryl's salary over and what money was left. Building supplies, we did, and then we had $148 for that.
It's right.
About May.
The jail
Worked out
bill
the way
is
you
an
wanted it to.
authorized use of
It
worked out the way you
funds,
wanted it to.
paying for a vehicle, it's not.
So, I got you. Trading money.
Trading money.
Yep.
Are you?
I'm good for that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Is that just a copy?
She went to the
Should write that on conference or
Well,
he
we
should.
have different ones that,
This back side. It's on the line.
Yes, dear, I did.
Do you have Gary's stamp on it?
No, but you wanna take it and just lay it on Teresa's desk, because then she makes me copies after Gary gets done
Where's
with
this
them.
one
Okay.
go?
Thank you.
This
Thank you.
is way on top.
Yeah, let's go with this step. It wasn't close to that step, and I guess we'll send it down with it.
Since we're paying an elevator bill, any new news, anything on the elevator? I know
It's working, the
It's
phone's,
working,
the phone's
good.
in, the phone's working.
everything's good.
Last time I used it, it was working.
That's a good question, John. Should the sheriff sign off on the dog catchers?
Yeah,
deal?
yeah.
Well, if he's gonna sign off on that, he needs to sign off on everything. You know, everything dealing with that, I think, don't you? Dealing with that budget? 'Cause there's there's the salary and the travel and, then the bills that come from the town.
Well, now it's not the time or place, but at our next workshop, we'll meet with him and we talked about this one other time.
So we just did talk about
But we've never gotten
it. Yeah,
together.
so we're gonna fix it this next year.
So, on our to-do list, please, Cindy.
Budget,
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk today.
And I'll tell you why I'm not sure about it, just because even though she answers to him, he is her supervisor, we hire her, or he or she, whoever it may be, so. So he is our supervisor, but we hire him.
Yeah.
Animal control.
Yeah, it's not a word that you understand.
Kind of smooth.
It's over your dog.
It does right there.
Sapphires come from.
Where in the world? We come from a different region, Africa, a lot of little countries, somewhere smaller. And I guess each little region has a different kind of different characteristics.
What's that mean? So,
It's one of the, he's Gary's posted in True.
Salon is a little, that might be a little, walking off of somewhere in the southern, South America. Didn't seem too important.
Yeah.
I've put an important things in.
Total on the bills for the month, $47,000. I'm sorry for the half of the month, $47,795.83.
Betty.
Hi.
Yeah, damn good, you? John? See?
machine, we don't have to.
I know.
Ink pad to this.
No, I was just thinking the same thing about this one too. Is these all good?
These are all in a separate pile right there, is what they are.
Get you to sign.
The reason this right here is, we're on a lease with, pays out in how many months?
No, that's separate than the Frontier.
That's separate.
Just phone and internet.
I didn't see the, we may have paid it first of all. This one will be losing in over a year, another year.
Well, I think there might be about 3 more years
Oh.
on that one. 1367 a month. We got a call this morning, there was a message actually on the phone this morning from Frontier, they left it last night about 8 o'clock, that our phones have been hacked. There was an attempted hacking. They didn't get in because we have, there's some blocks on there, but that's about the 4th time. And it's always on the 7641 number.
Motion to approve the bills for payment.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes. Have you had an opportunity to look at your minutes of December 5th?
Second.
Moved and seconded to be approved as written. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes. For your inspection, we have received county board minutes from the E911, the Ambulance Service Authority, Unsafe Buildings and Land Enforcement Agency, and the Little Canal Transit Authority meetings. So they are,
These are your copies.
if somebody wants to see those, they
You get them.
get them from either one of you. Okay. All right, it's 9:30. Mr. Ramsey,
Yes, sir.
share some good news with us.
What's good news? Mr. Stevens?
He's talking to you.
I know.
Because his name was on the agenda first, Mr.
What
Stevens.
we've got is the budget, our fiscal year on our utilities. Now, we were running out of money, and we got a letter saying that we needed to move some money around. We got with Cindy, she came to a meeting, helped us with it, and that's covered. But the problem is, we had 4-H out there, and we were told we had to take them. Now, we would like to get reimbursed back to, we were told to take them, not when, but the fiscal year, when with this budget. All their bills, all the water, sewer, everything is added on to us, gas, electric, and we're paying this. Now, we were told to take them, not because we wanted them. But Brian and Daryl, and I think Hess was on at that time, decided that that was the only, the property that the county owned, and we had to take it. There was no choice. We lost revenue from the building itself, and we rented it out where they have their offices now. We think we should be reimbursed back to the start of this fiscal year, and be paid in the future. I mean, they're not there because we asked them to come. We didn't go say, let us have them, we want to take care of them. We were told that the judge needed their space, and so they were moved out there. I don't think they even wanted to come out there. Now, this is where we're at. Now, we'd like to get a little help on this.
Kind of help you talking about.
I think maybe $100 a month. We lost revenue from the building from renting it. We've paid the bills up to now, so I think it should be the same. The budget is what we're talking about, what we've run out of money on. They've helped us run out.
$100 a month dating back to July.
Yes. And in the future, what have we got?
100 is a steal. I've got utility bills from the electric there. It averages between 68 to 120 a month for just the electric. So I have nothing against the 4-H. They know that. I want them to be there. We're talking possibly in the future of being able to get a new building for them to be in instead of that building. But it's now, since, you know, the commission isn't paying the, you know, out of our budget, and you're not gonna pay the utilities, like in the last 10 years, you've set a budget for the rec center, and the utilities were 15,000 or 10, but you still paid the rest of the year. So there was never an issue, you know, of not having the money to pay. So now, with you sticking to the budget and not going over the budget for us for utilities, Head Start pays us, Global Lions Club pays us, so it's only, you know, but we have to do something. And I do remember Brian and I and Dave was on the commission, and Judge Whiting was coming back to the boardroom, and he couldn't get up the steps, so we had to move him out, had to get him in place. So that's how they ended up over there, and then you were supposed to be getting rent from family court over there, and I know Cindy's worked lots of hours trying to get family court to pay rent over there to make it legal. And the 4-H didn't have a say in moving out there. They were just told they were going out there.
4-H board did.
Right. Because we had to make a spot for the family judge.
Well, I wasn't on the commission when that
Right.
decision was made, so I don't know what their intent was. But I know what my personal intent, and I don't want to speak for the other commissioners. I know what my personal intent was when we prepared this budget, the current budget that you're in, that was covered. We gave you money for utilities. We don't tell you where to spend them, but it was for the rec center, whether it goes to that building, to the dining hall, to whatever. We budgeted utility monies in the amount of
10,000. If I'm not mistaken, the utilities were 10, salaries was 5.
well, we've got, let's not
Yeah.
guess what it is. Let's actually see what it was.
10 or 15.
But this is not the time to come. We're really close. And you're asking us to add to this budget. Now, is it a good time to ask when we begin a budget 2 months from now for the next fiscal budget? That's the time to ask for that increase.
Why I've come in here is going forward. What are we going to do going forward? When you all came to the Holiday House and sprang it and said we were at 90% of our budget, I had no clue of that. So that's the first that I knew, because historically, for 10 years, the commission has set a budget, but yet you've continued to pay utilities. So that's dumb on my part to assume you were gonna do that another year. And we got the levy passed, so that's helped coming July 1. We're just trying to get from here to June 30th is all we're looking for.
I know what you mean, brother. We're doing the same thing here.
So, and the statement was made, if the taxpayers wanted to support the rec center, they'd pass a levy. Well, they have. It's just we don't get to start that yet.
15 for utilities.
50.
That started July 1st, and I
Yes.
know it's low. What's in there?
We've got,
It's
got
gone
100
over.
Utilities.
It's totally spent
there was
out.
$183 left when
One of the
Cindy came
revisions.
before the budget.
Yeah.
And then we did the revision of the 6,200.
Yeah, they did, I saw that this morning.
You did do that, so that's what's in there now.
Yeah, they took the 5,000 that you had budgeted towards salary and moved it into utilities.
And then the 12 or 1,300 from
13.
capital improvement
Mhm.
over into that as well, because
And
we
what
can
was
handle
left?
that.
And what was left?
Yeah, what was left was 1,300. So I guess also
So
what
you've
we
got a
need to
little
know-
breathing room. But you don't have much breathing room,
Yeah, we
because
don't.
if 15,000 was spent in the first 6 months,
We need
you've
another
got 2
15,
months
Yes,
possibly worth, and it's winter, it could be
yes.
less than 2
And we have cut everything off.
We've eliminated about everything we could.
And we still know we are going to, and that's no doubt a commission responsibility, someday, we may want to partner with you. There will be a day when Hayden Harper comes up with some explanation, some reasoning on this gas bill that's outstanding.
Hayden Harper was
Is
there
there,
yesterday.
Nothing
Because
new.
we were looking for a gas leak, but there wasn't any. And they are selling, the papers haven't been signed yet. Hayden Harper will be
I had
on.
heard, I knew they were,
Yes, they're well tendered chemical. So
He
we'll
thought
get
that
passed
would
on
be-
to something else.
but
But what we need to know is, what do we do here with, if we're stuck with where we're at now, that's fine. And then I know you do your budget, you have to have it submitted by March. With 4-H being out there, are you stating now at this point that the commission is not going to be responsible for anything for 4-H? I'm asking as a question.
we're partners.
Going forward.
Yes. We're
Where,
gonna have
where
to
we
find
stand with
a
them,
way.
because after this meeting, then we're gonna have a meeting with WVU. So we've gotta be able to say what we're doing here, and not just be off the cuff.
You guys think they could come up with a little utility money?
WVU, no,
Probably not.
not the university.
Because that's the agreement with extension, is that the county provides office and utilities, period. You provide materials.
Like we pay for our phone, and we pay for, the internet and all the copy rentals and all that kind of stuff. And then the
But it's the
county
county's
supplies-
responsibility is office space and
Yeah.
utilities. But we're gonna keep you, it's just we need to find a way, but I'm just,
Are you thinking, Daryl, that $1,200?
Lions Club gives 1,500. That is their utility expense. And they visit that, this year is the last year, and then the next year, the president of the commission, president of Lions Club, and the president of the rec center will meet, and then you'll discuss going forward. It's supposed to be each year that they sit and discuss it, but the last time Brian was president, he went to the Lions Club and it was agreed upon for a 3-year term, and we're at next year's it. But they get 1,500.
In the Bennett building, we had everything set up for it to be on its own. I mean, our gas meters and everything.
I had to take that call. What was the one I was going?
Chapman's gonna pay for 4-H to be out there.
no, I just, my own personal thoughts, I don't know what the intent was back when that was set up and the extension service moved to the rec center. However, my firm belief is that when we did a budget, the current budget that they're in, and we budgeted $15,000 for utilities out there, that's for utilities out there. I don't care if it goes to the dining hall or the extension service or whatever. We budgeted $15,000 for utilities, and it's spent up. Now, they moved 5 into that, which based on 6, based on current usage, and we're in the middle of the winter, might get to maybe a little 4 months, so they're going to be short.
And from the rec center standpoint, where you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but you gotta understand, this board didn't have choice for them to be out there. You know, where you're saying you budgeted the rec center
Yeah,
15,000
this happened how
for
many years
utilities.
ago? How many years ago?
How long you guys been there?
I mean,
It's
Be here
Yeah,
we'll
that-
be here 3 years in
the
June.
long and short of it is they're gonna be short anyway.
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be short. I don't have a problem with $100 a month. 6 of one, half a dozen of another, you're gonna be short anyway. You're gonna be coming back. But I mean, $100 a month isn't gonna save you.
It's not enough, I'm saying, he said 100.
Well,
100's not enough.
listen, I'm not one to mince words about a good deal, and I think that's a good deal, $100.
Well, of course it's a good deal, but it's not, I'm just giving you
But
the
all I'm
utility
saying is,
of electric.
being real, you're gonna be back. You'll be back before July 1.
My plan is not to be back for the utilities. That's why we've cut everything, you missed that, everything's cut.
I understand. And
outside lights,
I hope
everything.
that works out for you, I really do.
Is what we're planning, that this section should get us through right up to March or April, and then we have our basket bingo in April.
Well, your request is though, that we find an additional $1,200
From July to July.
to add to your current budget. That's your request. You're asking us if we can somewhere find $1,200 to put into your utilities budget prior to July 1st, correct?
That's what he's asking.
So
What
are
do
you
you-
in agreement?
I'm just saying there needs to be an understanding who's responsible for them now.
I mean, you
I mean,
take,
going forward, that, he said about, taking, for rental stuff, you can't count all that, what they're there. But we're getting nothing for them there, and we're getting taken from what's them there on the
That
utilities.
makes no matter to me, but when we renew a budget, when we begin a new budget, that will be decided. If you want them to be separate from you, that's no problem. But we've got 6 more months to deal with here.
Right.
And your request is that you're requesting an additional $1,200 for the remaining fiscal year ending through June 30th.
then talk to you before the next budget.
Yes,
So,
set up of where we go forward. If they're gonna be a renter of ours, or if you're just gonna cover the
That
utilities,
quick, where are we gonna get the money? Where are you gonna take it out of?
we can find where we're gonna take it out of, Larry, but what, I think we're sitting here talking about this, we're just gonna wait a month. He says he can get by
Well, he's
on,
got 2 months.
well, he says he can get by on the $1,200 and he won't be back. So what I'm saying is, let's give them the $1,200 because they're gonna
I'd
be
kinda
back.
like to know where you're gonna take it from.
Well, we can get Angel and find a place to get $1,200.
and for the next year's budget, when do you need it submitted? When will you be working this
Begin
budget?
early
Sometime after the
February.
first of the year.
Yeah,
After January?
Question I have, Darrell,
Yes.
maybe I'm thinking wrong, but it looks to me like it's apples and oranges. The reason they're out there is because they got moved by the court, and should we be paying rent for that space instead of the utilities, and then you all take that rental money and you spread it out wherever? I mean, is that the way it should be?
That's what I'm trying to say is, they're out there, and that's great, and I want them out there, and I appreciate them being out there. But anybody else that's out there pays rent in some form or another. They didn't pay the rent because you as the commission sent them there. So there was no agreement between the rec center and them that we're gonna pay this, or this. The understanding was they paid all the utilities, so everybody was okay with that, since they weren't costing the rec center nothing. Right now, starting now, they will cost the rec center utilities, that I will have to fundraise to pay that utility bill, or do a double rental in the dining hall, or something to be able to pay. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, your new request, though, you've already said, when we begin the new budget, you're going to request rent.
Right, but what he's asking is the 12 to bring us up to finish this June 30th bill.
And the question for you all, I think I already know the answer, but I'll ask it. WVU wasn't paying any kind of rental or anything to the county commission?
No.
When they were up there?
That's how you get the service.
No,
The
they,
county has
That's
to
what I thought.
provide space and pay.
WVU does not pay anything, it pays towards mine and Lisa's salaries. The
That's
county
it.
picks up no money on mine and Lisa's salaries, and then our levy funds help pay, our secretarial and the rest of our,
The rec center is not against 4-H, so please
No.
don't go back and
No.
say that.
Oh, we understand.
Dave in the paper, will you please get that we are not against them, we are only looking out for our survival as well. I mean, if we're gonna house somebody else out there and pay for all them, then we might as well do the golf course, Gilmer, and Foodland, pay utilities. And I'm looking at it because I'm gonna be the one doing the fundraising to pay these utilities.
Well, you was one of the ones that voted to move them out there, wasn't you?
When I was on that side of the table, and now I'm on this side of the table. So I'm gonna fight on this side of the table.
You're the reason you're here, aren't you?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you.
And I figured a fellow commissioner would have my back, but I'm not sure now.
Well, I kinda like to know when you're borrowing for Peter to pay Paul, I kinda like to know where it's coming from. But, I think, speak for you guys, we wanna help.
I would like for Angel to look.
Yeah, kinda like to know where it's coming
I have
from.
no problem with giving.
I don't like to get something right where I don't know where it's gonna be replaced by.
You know, if you need some kind of commitment, that we can do that, and maybe we come back and clean it up at the next meeting.
Yeah, maybe as early, we do budget revisions every meeting.
Right.
But thank you for coming and making that request.
Thank you for your consideration.
Appreciate it.
Is it
Now, Bill.
Anything you ladies wanna add in anything?
No.
Hey,
They're just cold out there in the White House.
It is, it's so cold.
Yep.
Cindy said they put the check in the mail, No, thank you.
All right.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you all. Thank you.
We'll be back here, shoot, in a couple of weeks.
That's gonna be right.
Yep.
Thank you, Darryl. Any activities over Christmas or New Year's we need to know about?
3 weeks, we have nothing.
Is that?
Sunday's the last, it's a family reunion Sunday. The next will be the Trappers, second weekend in January.
And, you know, I can remember a time years ago, there was always a New Year's activity.
Oh, really?
Out
Well, there's
out there.
Marissa Fox, is gonna have a little crack show, New Year's Day, she says. That's it. So,
All right, good deal. Okay,
Seems like everything does right now.
let's continue with unfinished business. Well, based on the rec center's request at our next meeting, you gentlemen favor finding $1,200 stated. We need to know where it's coming from. And whose budgets, I think we should look in Jean's budget and see if she's got an extra $1,200.
I think you better be looking at Gary's budget.
Okay. On the rec center gas bill from Hayden Harper, nothing, and I had,
I started to draft another letter to go back and contact them, but I thought, no, I should not.
you've made
I mean, the
multiple
ball's been,
requests,
it's in their
yes.
court.
Okay. The right of way on Canal Street. I met with the prosecuting attorney since our last meeting and asked him to instruct us how to move forward in the event that we were in agreement to sell that property. And that's what he's doing. He had no objections to selling it.
Good.
Just, you know, go by the letter of the law and give everybody the opportunity. So until we hear from him, he mentioned we would probably have to have some type of resolution, but I would like to get the instructions how to move forward in writing from him, and that's what I requested. Courthouse basement project.
Well, they're still working on it. As you probably saw when you came in, they have the drainage system in, getting ready to pour a little concrete slab at the bottom of the steps that goes up to the second floor of the building. They'll be in on Tuesday, the 23rd of next week, to do the waterproofing company will be in, and they'll be jackhammering, and it'll be a pretty noisy, busy day, trying to get the inside water system installed. And in addition to that, they have about 2 to 2.5 days more of electrical work, and then they'll be all complete, but still think they can get it done by the end of this month. The basement system was supposed to be here on Monday the 22nd, but now they're not coming till Tuesday, 23rd. That's my first day off. I don't like not being here when that's going on, but I have plane tickets, so I pretty well need to go. It's kind of a big day. I really hate not.
the tickets.
There you go.
Okay. I don't know what the transfer cost is, we can check that out. So, it'll
So
probably need
one or all, or as many of us need to kind of be up here to cover for you, make sure, just be around in case there's
someone,
questions.
I don't know if Gary Wolf's here. Gary's been really good at
To-
kind of being
to help.
involved as needed. If he's here, I'm sure he'd be happy to
I
come.
mean, they're doing the work, it's just in case the question arises.
Yeah, and to see that it's done the way it should be done. Yesterday, we had a meeting with Daniel Loftus, and the architect came up from Charleston. We had a progress meeting. And they discussed a change that I said I don't think is a good idea. And so, and that change involves the sump pump, which is gonna be way back and inside in the back bar corner, was now gonna be right inside as you go walk in the door, right there to the left. Right where our air intake is, right where our electrical panel is, right where the coal bin is.
Right where
And
it's
I just
dry.
said, I don't think, and they wanted to do that because of the slope of the floor. I said, I don't think that's a good, safe spot for a sump pump. So that's really my big concern, is that they don't put the sump pump right there. I think it's just not a good location, it's dangerous. So they still have to decide where the sump pump's going. That's kind of really my biggest concern, is to make sure that wherever they decide to put the sump pump, we feel like is a good idea as well.
That decision being made prior to your leaving.
Well, Daniel has to talk to the waterproofing company. They have to get together on that. We talked yesterday. I told him that I wasn't going to be here the 23rd. Need to have these things ironed out if possible. Hopefully, we'll have that nailed down.
Okay, well,
But if you'd like, I can, talk to Gary and just ask him to kind of be the eyes on site, and then get with you guys if there's any questions or
I'm
issues.
close by. Maybe when you meet with Gary, as many as possible of us can come and also listen. So if you would set that up.
It'll have to be this afternoon or Monday.
Did the architect say anything
Gary's
about the
not here.
I
sump
don't
pump?
think he's here.
I'm sorry?
Did the architect say anything about the sump pump?
Well, she first agreed when Daniel suggested putting it in that front corner. She agreed to that. But when I voiced my concerns, she also agreed with the concerns.
Let's set that up for Monday. You just let us know.
Okay?
She said Gary's going today.
I haven't seen it, and I
So Monday would be better.
What time would be good for you? If he's here, probably any time works for him.
Brian, you'll probably be out of town, won't you?
I won't be here.
Sean, is there a better time for you?
If I stick around, I need to meet early in the morning. The earlier the better.
8?
Yeah, that'd be better.
8?
10 a.m.? Okay, I'll let you know.
Let us know.
Gary.
Monday, 8. That is the 22nd.
And when you go back out, if you think of it, would you just kind of look at where they've raised the ground and put the mulch down? And see if you have any concerns with that, so we can try to make changes before it kind of settles in. I just want you to look at it because where they put the new stuff, it goes up to the coal bin and then it drops down about 3 inches. Now I know there'll be some settling there, but do we need to try to do anything? Mostly aesthetics, for aesthetics. Do we need to try to do anything?
It looked to me like it was
Great.
higher than what it originally was, which is
It's
better. That should be better.
It is better as far as that piece of it goes, but just look at how it blends in with the rest of it and see if we want to ask for anything else to be done to that. They ran into some issues when they put the drain in, that they couldn't go as deep with the drain as they had anticipated. So in order to get the proper slope, the drain out here on this edge as you come up to the coal bin is really high. I don't know what, after all that settling takes place, we may have some issues with needing to have them come back and redo some things. I think the dirt, we may end up seeing gravel, or the grass may not grow because there's not enough soil on top of it. but there's a 1-year warranty on the work, so hopefully if there's any concerns or issues as we go into next year, we can get that taken care of before the warranty's out.
Well, that, the young lady that's, the architect in charge of design, she would have some responsibility there, I would think. Knowing,
Yeah.
I mean, we are paying
Right.
her, them, that company.
And there's a 1-year warranty on the work, both L&L's work and the basement systems that'll do the waterproofing of the walls.
All right, new business. Receipt of fiscal year 2013 audit report from the state auditor's office.
I think you've seen a preliminary copy of this already, but this is the official copy that came in.
That becomes public record. At our workshop last week, we looked at those board appointments, so we would have some idea when they came in. Do you have a copy of those? Brian, this is,
If you want it.
yeah. Brian, we just went through there, they're all covered, so between now and the next meeting, there's, I mean, you get choice.
Okay.
Can't be nicer than that, can we?
Yeah.
If there's someone there you like or loyal to,
Okay.
you can, be prepared to let us know our first meeting in January.
Okay.
It's time to approve and sign the annual lease with the Tanner Community Board.
Do you want to review it?
Has it changed?
No.
Well, Sandy, we
Nothing
had
else.
talked about, I mean, the way that was written, it needed to have action each year.
I changed that to say that
So,
it
okay.
automatically renews on January 1 unless the other party notifies the other party.
Okay.
I don't know how many days, it's 60 days, I think it's in there.
So that's the
That they do not
other
want
change. It
to
was
renew.
the way it was, Brian, this week. Actually, to be legal, we had to sign it every year, but this adds that verbiage.
Move to approve the lease for the Tanner Community Building.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Just review
Aye.
the
Opposed,
wording,
nay.
before you sign, make sure you're okay with whatever that in there. It's right here,
Term of the rental agreement will commence on January 1st, 2015. Will automatically renew on an annual basis on January 1st unless terminated by the party giving 60 days written notice not to renew. Yep, good deal. Okay, where do I'm gonna just sign
This has
that
to be
you.
notarized.
One copy or two?
Well, one, I contacted them, the board, Amanda Frymer, and asked if somebody who would ever sign this could come this morning. Hopefully they could just come and they could see this and they could sign it and be done with it, but I guess they weren't able to attend. So I'm gonna just do the one and I'll just hand deliver it, make sure we get a signature and bring it back.
Good deal. You need that.
Gene will need a note or someone else to notarize your signature.
Okay. Debbie Hess, our,
Dog warden.
no, we don't call it dog warden. What do we call it?
Animal control.
Animal control agent, is going to be on medical leave, and, her husband Mike has agreed to accept that responsibility while she's gone, so it should really take formal action that we approve that.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, Cindy, you know more about this next issue.
Okay. The health department is required by the state to have it's continuity of operations plan. And in that plan, they have to have a designated location in case they would need to either set up a mass immunization or a mass care clinic, or if something would happen, they'd actually have to close their office and move to a temporary location. So they have done that at Shawnee Hall. That is in their plan. The recreation center would like something that says that if the health department has to move to the Shawnee Hall for emergency use, if there is lost revenue, if somebody's rented the Shawnee Hall and the rec center has to kick them out, or somebody calls and wants to rent it and they can't because the health department's in there, that the county commission would reimburse the rec center for the lost revenue. So this agreement would be between you and the recreation center, and it would be attached to the health department's COOP plan.
Probably will never happen, but in the event it does.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion passes. Okay, we have 4 grants that we had completed, and there were some monies left on each of the 4. So,
Okay, this is based on your discussion at your workshop. We'd like to change the scope from the Red Cross grant, which had, how much money left over? It was like it wasn't very much, $136 or so. Oh, here it is, $364. So we'd like to change the scope, that we put that toward the basement project. The basement project has a 20% match, so $364 will help pay
yes,
the match.
that's right.
And the next one is going to go toward the same project. There was $10,000 given on top of the $20,000 to do the boiler over there in the jailhouse. We have $6,500 and some change left over, and this would request that money also be allowed to be spent to make the project. We had $647 left over from a $10,000 grant to replace the EMS roof. We'd like to request that be changed to go toward mechanical repairs and or tires on ambulances. Also on the EMS roof, we had a $1,000 additional grant on top of the 10, and we did not need any of the $1,000. So we're requesting that the full $1,000 be changed to be approved toward mechanical repairs and tires on the ambulance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes. Okay, number 7.
We'd like to schedule a meeting of appropriate people to discuss the next court security grant. That would include law enforcement, the sheriff, the magistrate judges, the circuit judges, and the prosecuting attorney, and the commission. So put together a letter to go to each of those requesting their attendance at a meeting on Monday, January 16th at 10 a.m. here in the commission room to discuss projects that we'd like to apply for in court security grant and to reach their consensus. So,
Which is our second meeting day. Just might as well hit it the same day.
Did you say Monday? It's
Friday.
oh, I have to read you all the letters.
But we need to get approval. It'd be nice nice for you to go ahead and get them out so they can mark their calendar.
Yeah,
If we get approval
if you
on
approve it, I'll
yeah.
go make the correction and print them out, you can sign them.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to send out court security grant meeting invitations that will take place on January 16th at 10 a.m. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes. Is there anything else to come before the commission at this time?
I think we're gonna go to thinking. I'll try to keep doing this Monday morning. They do expect me there early.
Okay, that's fine.
We may change that time.
Yeah, we change that time. We'll get with Gary. That's on Monday. He has to be on Monday, so me and you, Gary, will get together.
Do you wanna change the time,
Yeah, we'll,
talk about that?
that may not be good for Gary, but we'll just get together. Gary's up here, but I wanna be on call if he needs something. Okay?
Move to adjourn.
I have,
Set it.
just a reminder, the courthouse Christmas dinner next Wednesday, 11:30 here, okay?
Set
It's
your
been
next
moved
meeting
to-
date.
Our next meeting
What's the
date.
date of the next meeting?
The next meeting date will be January 2nd at 9 a.m. There's a motion on the floor to adjourn, has been seconded, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes.
You say you need to first look at the numbers.
Just let it. I'll let you, I'll leave one here, let you look at it. Here's one.
Let's see, Bill,
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah, I want to see the video of that.
Mine's full, you can't put that in your mind, buddy.